Here is something nobody tells you about being unbreakable. When a narcissist can't break you, when every manipulation tactic fails, when they can't gaslight you, can't control you, can't extract the reaction they need, they don't just walk away. They do something far more calculated. They start talking. They don't attack you directly. They engineer your reputation, quietly, systematically. They go to your workplace, your family, your friends, the strangers you haven't even met yet, and they tell a story. A very compelling story where they are the victim and you are the problem. And they tell it to anyone who will listen. This is the smear campaign. And for most people who experience it, it is the most disorienting, most painful, most confusing part of the entire cycle. Because you didn't do anything wrong. You just refused to submit. And now your reputation is being dismantled piece by piece in rooms you weren't invited to. But here's what they don't want you to know. The smear campaign is not evidence of your guilt. It is evidence of your power. A narcissist only destroys what they can't control. And the scale of the smear campaign tells you exactly how much they feared losing you.
The smear campaign is the narcissist's last weapon. It's what happens when every other strategy has failed, when love bombing didn't hook you, when gaslighting didn't confuse you, when flying monkeys didn't retrieve you. When all of that fails, they attack your name, because if they can't control you, they'll control what people think of you.
Today we're going deep into why narcissists launch smear campaigns when they can't break you. What's actually happening psychologically. Why the campaign targets your workplace, your family, your everyday life. And why the fact that you're being smeared right now is confirmation that you never gave them what they needed. If you have watched a narcissist systematically dismantle your reputation, if you've had strangers approach you with strange hostility you can't explain, if you've lost friendships, opportunities, or family connections because of stories you didn't know were being told, this video is for you. Let's begin. Before we go into the psychology, I want to share something personal, because I'm not speaking theoretically here. I have been the target of an active smear campaign for 5 years. A narcissist who couldn't break me, couldn't control me, couldn't get the submission he wanted, decided somewhere in year 1 to start talking instead. And it has not stopped. It followed me into professional environments, jobs where I should have been able to walk in clean, build trust, do my work. And instead I would notice things. The way a colleague would look at me with a preformed opinion, the way opportunities would close before I understood why. The groundwork had already been laid before I arrived. It reached my family. People I love who have no involvement in any of this started receiving pieces of a narrative carefully constructed by someone who has never stopped trying to manage how I am perceived. And the flying monkeys, still arriving, year 5, new ones, at the gym, at the store, just going about my day. Strangers who have been briefed, recruited, sent. Think about what that reveals, not about me, about him, and his father, who is also involved, because apparently one person's obsession needed reinforcement. At this point, it's genuinely pathetic. But it is also one of the clearest illustrations I can give you of everything we're about to cover. So let's get into it. Here's the first thing you need to understand about smear campaigns that most people get completely wrong. The narcissist doesn't launch the smear campaign after you expose them. They launch it before. It's not reactive, it's preemptive. While you were still in the relationship, while you were still confused, still trying to make it work, still giving them the benefit of the doubt, they were already talking about you, already building the narrative, already laying groundwork with your mutual connections so that when you eventually left or exposed them, nobody would believe you. This is why it feels so confusing when you finally get out and discover what's been said. You thought the damage started after, but the campaign started before, while you were still in, while you were still loyal.
This preemptive strike serves a dual purpose. First, it isolates the target by destroying their support network before they can use it. Second, it creates the narrative that the narcissist is the real victim. victim so that when the target eventually seeks help or shares their truth, no one is receptive. The story has already been written and distributed.
And here's what makes it so effective. The narcissist tells their version first, and whoever hears a story first tends to believe it. So by the time you're trying to explain what actually happened, the people around you have already processed a different version. You're not correcting a blank slate. You're fighting a story that's already been accepted as truth. This is why so many targets of smear campaigns feel like they're going crazy. They know what happened. They know their truth. But everyone around them seems to have a different picture. And trying to correct it feels impossible, because you're not speaking into silence. You're speaking into noise.
The preemptive smear is a psychological masterstroke for the narcissist. It positions them as the authority on who you are before you've had a chance to be the authority on your own story. And this is why the most important thing you can do is resist the urge to defend yourself to people who are already embedded in the narcissist's narrative. You cannot win that battle in their court.
If you've discovered that things were being said about you during the relationship, not just after, if you found out that your reputation was being managed while you were still loyal, it's because the smear campaign didn't start with your departure. It started the moment the narcissist sensed you might eventually become a threat to their image. And it never really stopped. Here's the second thing to understand about smear campaigns. Narcissists don't just go after your personal relationships. They go after your livelihood, your professional reputation, your career, because they understand, often instinctively, that destroying your income and professional standing is one of the most effective ways to create chaos in your life. They may contact your employer, leave reviews, reach out to colleagues, spread stories in professional networks you share. They find the people adjacent to your career and they plant seeds. And because professional environments run on reputation and trust, those seeds don't need much water to grow.
The workplace is a particularly vulnerable target because the standards of evidence are different. In your personal relationships, people who know you well have context. At work, you're often only as strong as your last impression. And if someone's first impression of you has been pre-shaped by a narcissist, you're already behind.
I've experienced this personally. Walking into professional situations where the ground has already been salted before I arrived, where I would sense a preformed resistance that had no basis in anything I had done, where the dynamic was strange in a way I couldn't immediately explain. Until later, when I understood that someone had already been there first. And this is what makes workplace smearing so insidious. It's invisible. You can't see what's been said. You just feel the effects. Opportunities that don't materialize, doors that don't open, colleagues who maintain a distance you never earned. And you're left wondering what you did wrong, when the reality is that someone else already decided who you were before you walked in.
The professional smear is also often the hardest to legally address because it operates through implication and suggestion rather than explicit accusation. The narcissist doesn't say, "Don't hire her." They say, "I just want you to know I've had some concerns." That ambiguity is the weapon, and ambiguity is very hard to fight.
If your career has been affected by a narcissist's smear campaign, if you've noticed professional consequences that seem disconnected from your actual performance, if opportunities have been quietly closed in ways you couldn't track, you're not imagining it. This is a well-documented tactic, and recognizing it for what it is, not a reflection of your worth, but a weapon being wielded against it, is the first step toward protecting yourself. Here's the third dimension of the smear campaign that causes the most grief: when it reaches your family. When people who love you, who should know you, who have nothing to do with any of this, start receiving pieces of a story you didn't write about yourself. Narcissists target family for a specific reason. Family is your deepest support network. And if they can damage those connections, if they can make your own family question you, distance from you, or even turn against you, they've achieved maximum isolation. You're not just losing acquaintances, you're losing your foundation.
The narcissist reaches family through multiple vectors. They may contact family members directly, presenting themselves as concerned. They may use mutual connections to relay information. They may stage situations that family members witness and misinterpret. And they always position themselves as the person who hates that it's come to this. The reluctant truth teller, not the calculated manipulator.
This has happened in my situation. People I love, who have no role in any of this, who are simply living their lives, have received the story. They've had to navigate information about me that came from a source with an active agenda. And navigating that as a family member is disorienting, because the person telling the story usually seems calm, concerned, reasonable, not unhinged, not obsessive. That's the performance. And this is what's hardest to explain to the family members being targeted. The person delivering this information doesn't look like a stalker. They don't look like someone in year 5 of an obsession. They look like a person with legitimate concerns. The pathology is concealed in the packaging.
For the target, watching the smear reach your family is one of the most painful experiences of the entire cycle, because it violates the last boundary. Your personal life, your professional life, and now your family. There is nowhere that feels safe, and that is precisely the intended effect, to make you feel so surrounded by the narrative that fighting it feels hopeless and isolation feels complete.
If the smear campaign has reached your family, if you've had to watch people you love process information that was carefully weaponized before it reached them, know this. It is not because you failed to protect them. It is because you became important enough to someone's obsession that they needed to take everything from you. And taking everything requires going everywhere, including home. Here's the 4th dimension of the smear campaign, the one people underestimate most. The flying monkeys, the recruits, the people the narcissist sends out to do the ground-level work of the campaign, gathering information, delivering messages, conducting surveillance, and applying social pressure. Flying monkeys are not always aware of exactly what they're doing. Some genuinely believe they've been enlisted in a just cause. They've been told a story, a convincing one, about who you are and what you've done. And they believe it. They're not evil, they're useful. And that distinction matters, because it means the narcissist doesn't need bad people. They just need people who haven't questioned the story they were told.
The flying monkey network is what allows the narcissist to conduct a large-scale campaign without appearing to be the one doing it. They can sit back, appear blameless, even act confused by the chaos, while their recruits are actively working on their behalf. The narcissist gets to play victim of the very drama they're engineering.
In my situation, the flying monkey deployment has been relentless and ongoing for 5 years. What makes it remarkable at this stage isn't just the persistence, it's the reach. New people, people I've never met, approaching me at the gym, in stores, wherever I go. They don't all approach the same way. Some are obvious, confrontational, strange, carrying preformed opinions about me that make no sense given that we've never spoken. Others are subtle, trying to gather information, asking questions that seem casual but have a specific agenda underneath them. And some have clearly been told to monitor, to observe, to report back. 5 years. New recruits in year 5. Let that land. This is not someone who has moved on. This is someone running an operation. And the fact that it requires this level of ongoing maintenance, this many people, this many years, tells you everything about how little power they actually have. People with real power don't need armies. They need armies when the target won't break.
Flying monkeys in smear campaigns serve several functions. Reconnaissance, gathering information about the target's current life. Pressure, creating social friction wherever the target goes. Intimidation, making the target feel watched, surrounded, unable to escape. And messaging, delivering the narcissist's narrative in spaces where the narcissist can't appear directly without revealing their obsession. If you are being surrounded by flying monkeys, if new ones keep appearing despite time passing, if you feel like you can't go anywhere without encountering someone who seems to carry a preformed opinion about you, you are not paranoid. You are being targeted by a coordinated campaign, and recognizing it for what it is, instead of wondering what you did wrong, is the beginning of taking your power back.
Here's the fifth and most important thing to understand about smear campaigns. The scale of what someone is willing to do to destroy your reputation is directly proportional to how much they fear you, not how guilty you are, how powerful you are. People who are actually innocent of something don't typically run 5-year smear campaigns. People who are telling the truth don't need an army. People who genuinely moved on don't need to maintain a ground operation in your social spaces years later. The size of the campaign is a confession. It tells you in the clearest possible terms how much your existence threatens them, how much they couldn't control you, how much your freedom represents something they cannot tolerate.
In narcissistic psychology, the smear campaign is often triggered by what's called narcissistic injury, the wound to the ego that occurs when the narcissist fails to control someone they've targeted. When you refuse to break, when you refuse to submit, when you refuse to play the role they assigned you, the injury is enormous, and the smear campaign is the response to that injury.
This is why the campaign often escalates even when you've gone completely silent. Even when you've removed yourself from the situation. Even when you've given them nothing, no reaction, no engagement, no visibility. Because the campaign was never about your behavior. It was about their wound. And wounds don't heal just because the target goes quiet. And this is why 5 years feels incomprehensible to people who haven't experienced it. They ask, why is he still doing this? You haven't spoken. You haven't responded. You've given him nothing. Isn't he over it? No, because it was never about you doing something to him. It was about you being something he couldn't have, and being something someone can't have. That's not something that resolves with time. That's something that eats at a person.
The Heyoka empath is particularly likely to trigger this level of response. Because the Heyoka doesn't just refuse submission, their very presence reflects the narcissist's emptiness back to them. The wound isn't just rejection, the wound is being seen clearly by someone who cannot be fooled, and then watching that person walk away free. That is the injury that drives a 5-year campaign.
So when the smear campaign feels overwhelming, when you're watching your reputation being dismantled, when flying monkeys are appearing everywhere, when it's reached your family and your work, remember what you're actually looking at. You're looking at evidence of your power. You're looking at a person's terror made visible. You're looking at what happens when someone encounters someone they cannot break and cannot accept that they can't. The campaign isn't proof of your guilt. It's proof of their obsession, and their obsession is proof of your freedom. Here's the 6th and most practical part, what you actually do when you're inside an active smear campaign. Because knowing why it's happening doesn't automatically tell you how to survive it. And surviving it requires a very specific kind of discipline. The first and most important rule, do not defend yourself to people who are embedded in the narcissist's narrative. This feels counterintuitive. Every instinct tells you to explain, to correct, to share your side. But trying to correct the narrative with people who've already accepted the narcissist's version is not just ineffective. It gives the narcissist exactly what they want. Your emotional distress, your desperation, your reactivity, it becomes evidence.
The narcissist smear campaign is designed to provoke a reaction. Every time the target reacts, defends themselves, reaches out to mutual connections, posts on social media, engages with flying monkeys, the narcissist has more material, more data, more evidence to add to the narrative. The campaign feeds on your response. Starve it.
This is genuinely the hardest thing to do. Not reacting when everything in you wants to correct the record. Not engaging when people you care about have been fed misinformation. Not defending yourself when your professional reputation is being quietly dismantled. But here's the thing. Your character is not destroyed by what someone says about you. It's revealed by what you do next. The people who matter, the ones with actual discernment, the ones who haven't fully swallowed the narrative, are watching how you carry yourself. And someone who carries themselves with dignity through a smear campaign is more powerful than any story being told about them.
Document everything, not to fight publicly, but to protect yourself. If the campaign crosses into stalking, harassment, or professional interference, documentation becomes essential for legal protection. Keep records, keep dates, keep evidence. Not because you're planning a public battle, but because you have the right to protect yourself through legitimate channels if needed.
And keep building your life. This is the most powerful thing you can do. Every genuine connection you build, every professional success you achieve, every time you show up, calm, grounded, real, you're writing a counter-narrative that no smear campaign can touch. Not because you're performing, because you're being. And being, with integrity and consistency, is something no story can compete with indefinitely. If you're inside a smear campaign right now, if your workplace has been touched, if your family has been reached, if flying monkeys are appearing in spaces you thought were safe, now you understand what's actually happening. This isn't about your guilt. This is about your power. This is about what happens when someone encounters a person they cannot break and cannot accept that they can't.
The smear campaign is the narcissist's surrender wrapped in aggression. It's the admission that direct control failed. It's what remains when someone has nothing left but the ability to talk. And talking, without substance, without truth, without the target's actual collapse, eventually collapses on itself.
Subscribe and follow this channel, because every video in this series is built around exactly this kind of real-world experience. Not theory, not textbook psychology, but what it actually looks like to live this and keep standing. Drop a comment and tell me, how has the smear campaign shown up in your life? Work, family, strangers? Have flying monkeys appeared somewhere unexpected? Tell me. I read every one. And remember, their campaign is their confession. The longer it runs, the more it tells you about them. The more people they recruit, the more it reveals what they couldn't do to you directly. You are not what they say you are. You are what they couldn't break. And if you want to go deeper, if you want the extended frameworks, the spiritual protection work, the guides we don't publish publicly, the Patreon is in the description. That space is for people who are serious about this. You'll know if that's you. Hold the line, we see you. I'll see you in the next video. Stay lit.